Hi, this card I'm making is a masculine birthday card. This card has a nautical theme and it features various symbols that you would associate with the sea and sailing. I thought it would be a good card to make for men who maybe don't want to get a lot of ribbons and flowers and frou-frou things like that. This features a little bit of embossing here, and I have tried to keep it very simple, and the inside is very simple, and it also features a little bit more embossing. It's a very quick card, and you can recreate it yourself if you had any sort of stamps with a nautical theme. So let me show you the materials that this card uses. I have a card base, which is navy blue, cut 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I also have two white panels, cut 5 1/4 by 4 inches. For this part, I had sent away on eBay, and I was able to obtain bunches and bunches of pre-punched cardstock with squares. You can see what I have here. If you didn't have this, of course it's unlikely that you would. You could use this by cutting the strips from your paper trimmer, and I'm going to double check the dimensions. The squares are 1 1/4 for the blue and about 1 1/8 for the white ones. So you could just cut strips of 1 1/4 for the blue and then cut it to the dimensions that you need, and the same thing for the white. But since I have this, I'm just going to punch out the ones that I need. So I need 3 of these. Oh, how convenient. And 3 of these. I didn't have this particular square punch, so I went and bought this on eBay. I've since obtained the punch, but I'm now going to use this. Now, I showed this in my last video that when you have a little bit of a burr on the paper, a quick and easy way to get rid of it is to use a file like this. So I'm just going to take the rough side of the file, not the super rough, but the little bit rough, and just brush that off, that little burr that was sticking out. I don't know if you could see it on the camera, but it's there where the paper was attached. So you can do this with any time you get a jagged cut on cardstock. Some of the thinner cardstock is more guilty of doing this than the thicker cardstock. Then you could use this little trick. You could also use a sanding block, which they do have for crafting, but it's rather expensive, and this I got for free from the nail salon. You could also use an emery board. Another way would be to take your scissors and try to trim it, but my hands are not that steady. I do not know about you, but this is a lot easier. Okay, let me clear some of this stuff away and show you the stamp sets that I'm using. I have a stamp and cut that I got from Hero Arts, and I have this happy birthday for the inside. I have Heart to Heart, which is a company called Melissa J Designs for the sentiments, and I have this nautical stamp and cut by my ArtC. It also has die cuts. I'm going to be using my clear embossing powder, which means since I'm going to be embossing, I'm going to use my embossing gun and my embossing buddy. I've already pre-mounted all of my stamps that I'm using on my blocks. The inks I'm using is Versafine Onyx Black, Lady Bug, Desert Sand, and Danube Blue, all from Memento. I'm also going to be using Distress Ink Antique Linen and a blending tool. And that's it. Let me clear all this stuff away and then we'll just get started. The first step I'm going to do is stamp these little squares because they are small and I don't want them to get away from me. So one square will have this saying, one will have the compass, and the other will have the sailboat. So the sailboat and the saying is in blue, Danube blue. And where is it? Here we go. Let's try it upside down. Okay, and compass in red. Okay, clean these stamps off real quick. All right. Now I'm going to bring in my Misty tool, which I have also put all my stamps on for this and the two black sentiments. So hold my paper in place. And with the Versafine, get that back in the screen. Stamp that in black. Oh, that's kind of close. Oh, you know, I remembered when I first made the card, I decided that it needed to be mounted, and I forgot to allow for that and move my stamping accordingly. So luckily, all paper has two sides. So I'll just flip that over, re-ink, and slide my paper over 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, that's better. This is a little close though. There. Okie doke. Clean this off real quick. Now this wheel, I am going to bring in my embossing buddy because that is embossed. I want to make sure that no oils stick the embossing powder to it, so it only embosses where I want it to emboss. And where is my wagon wheel? Here it is. So some of the inks are wet enough that you can do this little trick. I'm hoping that this will work. If not, I'm going to go over it with Versamark. But what you do is, I should have this ready to go. While the ink is still wet, you pour the embossing powder over it, and it's the same thing as if you use the watermark ink. So I think I want that a little dark, so I'm going to double stamp that. That's the best part about photopolymer stamps. You can just look right through and double stamp. Hopefully I got it. Oh, pretty good. Now I'm just putting the clear powder directly on that and knocking it off. Okay, I'm going to set that aside for now, because I'm going to have to do 2 embossing, so I want to just go once over to the heat tool. So I'm taking in the second panel, and I'm doing the same thing with the anchor. For this one, I think one is enough. Oh, I forgot to do the embossing tool on the inside, but I think it'll be okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to go and take this to my embossing tool, and I'll be right back. Okay. Okie doke. Now my paper warped a little bit, but it'll be fine once it's glued down. Okay, now get these little guys. I'm taking my Tombow. I'm going to glue this to here. Oh, you know, I almost forgot my ink blending. So let's blend the edges a little bit and make them look a little distressed. So you just take the blending tool and you just come across the corners, and I tend to focus a little bit more on the corners than I do on the sides to make it look a little bit more interesting to me. You can do it however you like, but that's how I like to do it when I'm distressing my ends. Now it looks more like weathered paper. Okay. 7 minutes and we are making great progress. Now, little Tombow. It's easier to do this if I pick it up. And the Tombow is very forgiving. You have a second or two to move it before it starts to set up. Okay. Okay, press it. Let that dry. Now, back to the front. I have to add this little bit here, which says, "Let's sail away." And where I place this will determine where I mount the other squares. So I'm going to, whoops, that's not the right color. I'm going to do that first. Okay. Put this embossing powder away before I have an incident. Forgive me a second. There. Now, for these, I'm going to use foam tape to pop them up a little bit. So I'm bringing in my big wheel, which is starting to get smaller by the day. I'm making quite a few videos. And just put a bit of foam tape in the center. Okay. Now, bring in my card base and my bone folder. I'll close this up. Press the seam. And using my ATG gun, I'm going to glue the inside of the card first. Okay, and I'm going to stamp the second happy birthday. I could have left this part off because I know that this card is going to have quite a lot of people signing it, so I tend to leave them a lot of room in case they want to leave a little bit of sentiment of their own choosing. Okay, let that dry. Now, oops, yeah. Adhere this to the front. This part is bucking a little bit where the embossing was. So if that happens, you can just take a little bit of Tombow and tuck it up under the ends. Let me see if I can get my fingernail under it. Yeah. Just put a little bit there and press it and hold it. Frances Martin showed me that trick just yesterday. She must have looked into the future and saw me making this card. Okay. Now, the squares go in place. I'm not going to press these down immediately because I want to make sure that I have put them on properly before I commit. So I'm just laying it in place. And that looks about right. Okay, there we go, all finished. That's the card for today. It was very simple, went together really quick. You can recreate this card with any nautical stamp that you have, as I mentioned. And this is nice for a masculine birthday card or people that don't like a lot of flowers. I hope you'll try this card yourself. As always, I appreciate people watching my videos. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel. And have a good day, and thank you for watching. Take care.